What's up, guys? My name's Sean and welcome to the How to Hero YouTube channel, where it's my job to awaken the hero within you. There's a hero within all of us. Now, I wanted to talk today about indigo children, crystal children, and just the highly sensitive children that are being born right now. A lot of them are coming into this world without the energetic protection that a lot of us had. So as an indigo myself, when I was born, I was more open to empathy, but automatically I still had protection there, shielding, you could call it, in the auric field. But what's happening now is that a lot of our children are being born wide open. They're crystal. They're rainbow children. They're wide open to the feeling. And this creates an interesting challenge for us as parents. So just a little bit of background on me in case you don't know. I have 4 children. I have a 2-year-old, an almost 4-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 17-year-old. And so I know a little bit about raising children. I don't know if I'm doing a good job or not, but I know a bit about it, at least. And I wanted to share, first of all, I wanted to actually apologize for my hair, because I have no idea what to do with it. All I know is I'm growing it out, and oh my gosh, it looks, I don't like this transition period that it's in. I may give up entirely. But I wanted to talk about what it's like to raise children like this, because I have 2 children that are fully basically crystals, and then I have one who's more like my 9-year-old. He's pretty open too, but he's not quite as wide open as my youngest, for example. My youngest is wide open. There's a telepathic actually link there that I can feel quite easily. I can feel his thoughts, and he feels mine, I believe, because he sort of anticipates things, like in very strange ways. Like I'll be thinking, oh, it's time for lunch, and then he'll start asking for lunch, or things like that, right? And so the most important thing that I wanted to share is, in order to avoid creating all these fragmentations for these children, because I'll step back a little bit. As we grow up, we build into our worldview things that we don't like about ourselves, right? Fragmentations of ourselves that we don't approve of. These come from places of, typically, in our early years, they'll come from our parents. Our parent will say, no, don't do that, that's bad, this is bad. Or they'll fib about things and make us believe scary stories so that we don't do something. Things like that, right? And what that does is that causes fragmentation in your auric field. Well, I'll say it that it's more complicated than that, but that's the easiest way to say it. It causes fragmentation of your auric field, and causes shadow. And so you can imagine that, well, maybe our goal now, if we understand this, is to try not to build unnecessary shadow into our children. They're going to build all the shadow that they need for their soul's growth in the perfect divine plan that they are putting together, that you are putting together with them, right? So, but if you approach it from a conscious perspective, you can understand that, okay, these children are human lie detectors, first of all. They're human lie detectors, and they're innocent beyond, beyond what you're probably capable of thinking of, unless you have like huge connection with your inner child. But they don't have the thought forms that you have. They don't have the opinions. They haven't been manipulated by dogmatic beliefs or any structures like that. They're simply pure, right? Very pure. And so as parents, it's our job to understand that, and this is my opinion, of course, I mean, it's parent however you wish, it's your children, your life, Merely, I'm just trying to offer my perspective on it because I think I'm in a good place to talk about it. And what you want to do is be very careful. A lot of us grew up with these lies, right? Lies like, so for example, as a child, I believe a couple times I asked if we could have McDonald's, and it was like 8 o'clock at night or something. And my mom's like, McDonald's is closed right now. We can't have McDonald's, it's closed. And I remember being like, you're full of shit, lady. I was like 5 or something, maybe younger. And I remember just being like, why is she lying? And I remember just saying like, I think I threw a fit about it. I think I threw a whole meltdown fit crying because I couldn't understand why they would lie to me. And I do remember a lot of my childhood memories like that. Like I remember being a baby, a couple specks, not the full continuum of time. Like it's not like I can go back to when I was a year and a half and remember exactly this or that, but I do recall like experiences of like being a baby in a crib and things like that. So, but when I was like around 4, that's when I started to notice that adults are lying all the time. That's when I first started to notice, and it was that distorted, when I saw all that distorted my whole concept of reality. Literally, for until puberty, more or less, I kind of thought everything was just a game where everyone lies to each other. That's kind of what I thought. Like, I thought the purpose was to kind of trick people into getting what you need. That's what I legit thought, because that's what everyone did to me. They tried to trick me to get me to shut up, or to sit down, or to be quiet, or to stop asking for this XYZ. And my mom didn't mean anything by it. She just didn't, it wasn't the right time for me to have McDonald's. And she knew I wouldn't understand the reasoning behind it, or thought I wouldn't understand the reasoning behind it. So I elected to lie because it was simpler. It was the easier path. But that's the point, right? Is that these crystal children and these more sensitive children, you know, typically they're gonna be able to fathom it. Like, they're gonna be able to understand around when they're 4 or 5. But before that, not so much, right? Not so much. But around that time, they're gonna start to really understand things and understand when you're lying. And even if they don't fully grasp why you can't go right now, it's better than them thinking you're a liar. Because once they think you're a liar, they question more or less everything you say, right? It's the same with anybody that, as an adult, think about somebody like one of your friends who maybe you have a friend. We all have a friend who just makes stuff up, right? Hell, I've been that person before. So I think the child, we need to approach them as if they know, because they kind of do. They kind of do already know. They'll just not understand. You know, you'll say, they'll ask to do something, and you'll say, "Oh, we can't do that because lie," and then the kid will just go, "Huh? Okay, the reason they said makes sense, but why is it a lie? It's a lie. I feel that it's a lie, right?" And in an effort to protect their development, it's important that we be much more honest than we probably feel comfortable with. They're so much more mature and able to handle so much more than we'll give them credit for. And in fact, as we start them out a little younger into more mature concepts, and I'm not talking about like the super mature concepts like suicide or something, but if we're more honest and direct with them and communicate more openly with them, they're not going to fragment as much. They're going to maintain trust in their authority figure, or their parents, authority figures in general, a little bit. They'll be sort of predisposed to trust instead of predisposed to believe everyone lies. And so that's what I just wanted to get that out there. I think it's a really important message for the collective. A lot of us are waking up and going, oh my gosh, I understand sort of why I did this and that, why this happened when I was a kid, and etc. And so I wanted to kind of make that connection back to being an empath yourself and parenting empaths. And whether you're an empath or a starseed or whatever you are, parenting these crystallized beings, these crystal children, these sensitive souls, is a new challenge. It's pretty new. You know, I think the oldest crystals are like 20 or something. So, you know, a lot of us have children that are crystals, and like my daughter and my son, and then my oldest son is I don't think he's crystal, but I would say he's maybe like sort of like an indigo. Like he's pretty open. But yeah, so I wanted to share that. I hope that helps. I hope you guys find that helpful. I hope somebody comes across this and they can go, oh yeah, that makes sense why we're always fighting. Because the child will understand the deceit and will lash out about it. They'll act out because they don't know what else to do. They don't understand why the deceit, but they understand that it is deceit. And they'll act out usually. And so the other thing to remember is that children are the perfect mirror because they're innocent. When they say something to you, like it's literally often your own projection reflecting right back at you. They've formed their entire worldview based on you. So if they reflect back these they say something pretty weird to you, and it's like offensive or makes you triggered, think about that for a second. Think about that. They're reflecting to you yourself, right? Showing you your shadow. They're really good at it. Anyways, that's it for this video. I hope you guys liked it. If you enjoyed the video, click that like button. It really helps with the channel. If you want to see any of the more of the stuff that I create or get notified when I go live on my live streams, which I'm going to try to do every single day. I've said that a few times. Have not at all done it well. However, I'm really focusing now on my platform as well as disseminating my message. I'm a simple messenger here to illuminate people and help awaken the hero within them by disseminating the law of one in service to Prime Creator. So that's what I'm here to do, and I'm going to keep on doing that. So thanks again, and take care.